by luck. So stay in the Word. Stay in the Word. That's all I keep telling myself, right? Stay in the Word. That's what you keep telling me. Be in it, but be not of it, the world. So all I can do is be girded in your service. Faith and faith alone. Thrown into a trial here in a day. Tomorrow is one more day, just one more day. This day's pretty much a wash, so it's one more day. We'll see if that's what you wrote. So I'm not sure what you have written, but because I don't have any witnesses and I don't have any counsel. So I'm given counsel, even though I've had 3 attorneys. 550 days, 51 tomorrow, so 52, 552. I don't know. On Tuesday. So what do you got for me there, Father? We'll see, right? You're gonna make my life even worse, or I don't know, is it better to, I don't even know at this point. Pretty crazy world to be in no matter what happens. So though it's just thy kingdom come. That's all I can do. Think about that. Think about after this life, and that whatever happens, if somebody wrongs me, he'll write it after this life. He'll heal me, the pain, all the pain and all the suffering. All the wrongs he'll make right, and that's the promise of salvation. And so I can keep hanging on the faith, right? That's what I have. So no discovery, no witnesses, no evidence. Maybe we'll get a call, but tomorrow's, what is tomorrow going to change? Maybe the attorney will call, the district attorney here, and we'll get what paid for, right? We'll see. I haven't gotten anything so far, but maybe Father has a whole different plan, something I didn't even think of, right? Probably. So don't make any plans. It'll wreck them. So I'm not making any plans. I just know what hey, I got to go to trial, man. Go to trial, they'll issue a warrant for my arrest, and that's not good. I don't want to be looking over my shoulder. I don't run from anything. Remember, I didn't run. Stayed right here. They came here, raided the house, and assaulted everybody. So they were the ones that brought violence, but I've been violent. So nobody can say I've called for violence or called for some kind of revolution with weapons, or I've called for the opposite. Remember, so evidence hasn't even been called. They'll say YouTube, they're using my own evidence against me, but I don't have any evidence called in my favor. So kind of a strange set of circumstances. Definitely a violation of my Sixth Amendment fair and speedy trial, and call witness in my favor, call the discovery evidence at the time of trial. So no witnesses, no evidence, no nothing. So no, I'm not muted. I'm not muted. That's the way it goes. No, I'm not muted. So might just have one more day together, guys. Tomorrow, might be the last day for HD Fat for a while. So I've already tried to give you blow the horn. Sound, Did you get a good drink? So, just been hanging out with my puppy. He's being a good boy, and I love him. I love him. Hopefully, Father didn't take me away from a puppy. Oh, he's my good guy. He's been a good boy today. All day today. He's always a good boy. You know, he's a good boy. And they say man's best friend, dogs don't go to heaven because they don't sin. A dog doesn't sin. Cats don't sin. When a cat's tearing up a mouse or a bird, that's not. Actually, if an animal's probably like a dog is treating you by, doing something, it's probably because you did something wrong or it's been mistreated in the past, and so, the human caused that. So, we're supposed to be good dominions over this, all the creepy crawlies on this rock, but some of the best are the feline and the canine. There's a reason why they do call it, man, it's woman, man and woman under this covenant. But so I'm thankful Father is giving us such a beautiful species to have companionship with. So they're loyal. They don't steal, break your heart, make you sleep in the doghouse. So, yeah, they don't lie or cheat or steal from you. So they're in ways a lot more. Treat better than most humans that treat you. So, see, I'm not wrong. Remember, let's go about the dog. How longer I'm away from the house. We won't go into that, right? So we'll leave that out of this. Sabrina knows what I'm talking about. Don't be gone too long. The lady will get all upset. So dogs are excited to see you when you come home. So, but we'll see. Thy kingdom come. Remember, Father creates and writes all things after his counsel and for his own pleasure. He does these things. We don't always. He pours out that measure. The measure we pour out on others will be returned to us. That he pours out a just. He is the judgment, final trump. So we're under this covenant to judge with righteous judgment and use his agape, use the new covenant, use this gospel to go out, and that's our sky. That's what we put at the top of our house, our crown. Remember, our crown. So he says, I come quickly, let no one take your crown. So you have to have a crown to set at the feet of the Hamashiach, or you're not going to receive your inheritance at the wedding. So it's all about the prize. Remember, he's your prize. You're supposed to be running towards him. He said to meet him, not sit down on your ass like a mule that's stubborn and can't learn. So hallelujah. So what can you do? Do what he tells you. He makes you do it. So that's what happens when many are called but few are chosen. They're chosen already. They're already bought and paid and purchased for. They're the bride. So they're agape, their authority. They're girded in my service. He said, Maranatha, have your loins girded in my service. Have your lamps trimmed and be burning bright. So loins girded until I return. See, it's a believing in me. It's an action word. So your actions will be called out in that book of life, not Joseph and Mary and Bob and Tom and Steve and Melissa, whatever. That's not what, there's no book of life with some letters like Jesus or Joseph or John or Jacob, Jingleheimer, Jack, Bob. How about Jackalope? It's not what's your name in the book of life is not name. It doesn't say name. It says Shem, and Shem's authority. It's what you did you go out and share the gospel? Did you put that light at the top of your house like he tells you? Where's your life a living testament of the gospel? Remember, all the apostles, they had a life and they gave up their life. Remember, he hated taxes more than anything, right? Matthew, he was a tax collector. Remember, Paul, a murderer for the church, worked for the church, Christians at that, and fishermen. They all had, but they all gave up their life, and that's what he tells us. That's what we're supposed to do. Give up our life, pick up the book, and follow after him. So, are you a living reflection of the Hamashiach? Do they want to crucify you and hang you from a tree? Rip, rip the beard out of your face if you got a beard, or stab you like you're some kind of bloodlet you, like they're going to eat you, like the masse, the eating of flesh, human flesh. So, put a crown of thorns, into your skull so thick that they went into your, not these little baby, thistles, but thorns, thick thorns, and, stick into your forehead, stick into your cranium. So they want to crown you. He said, let no one take your crown. You have a crown to sit at the feet of Shiloh. So it's all about a wedding. Might not want to be one of these religious people. Religion's vain. You ever read the book of Jeremiah? The gospel makes, come out from my people. The gospel makes religion vain. Remember his destruction of the physical temple through the armies, went in, surrounded the nation, came in and destroyed, turned every building in Israel into gravel, including the temple, plowed salt into the land so they wouldn't return there. So he wasn't playing, was he? He ain't playing today. So I want to follow any of these religions. He said, follow after me in Matthew and in Luke, the sister chapter. So be crucified. Does anybody want to hang you from a tree? So for standing up against perverted laws, does anybody want to throw you in a cage? Does anybody want to strap you back so you can't breathe? Nail you? Does anybody want to nail you? They're not talking about some, how about stake you? Anybody want to stake you to a yoke? Carry that yoke like he carried that yoke, the weight of the world. He's a man of sorrows, carried that weight of the world on his shoulders, obviously the sins of the world, right? No, the sins of his bride, because of what the world was doing, and they'll stand up to that. His disciples, bear your cross, be witness, be crucified, take up your cross. Matthew, Luke is the sister chapter. Deny yourself daily. Self is pornea. He divorced his bride for idolatry. It's the same word. Take up, be crucified, be burnt for a long time, be put through long tribulation, long suffering is what the word says. You have to endure to the end if you want to be saved. You can't be saved. You have to go through fiery trials. The ellipsis is the word tribulation. That's the gospel. Come out of her. Nobody wants to hear that. They want their sit down on their ass Jesus, stubborn like a mule. You rode in on a donkey, but they got their own. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. There's a reason why they don't drink, but you can lead a person to this knowledge. He said, my people shall perish for lack of knowledge, but you can't make them think, right? Father says, if I didn't call out to their hearts to seek after me, not one of them would, because they use their wicked hearts, remember? He said, if I didn't call out to their hearts to seek after me, not one of them would. Did you hear what I said? Not one of us. Nobody's being saved. Nobody's coming to Father through the Hamashiach, right? But Father's making him do that, because not one of us would. He makes us do it. He makes us love him. That's the way it's written. Get over it. You can't be saved. Nobody can't accept Christ. That's nonsense. That's what religion does. Waters people down, makes them water down. So thank you, Father. I can always come in here and share this gospel, and then something happens to me and I have to go to jail. All these hours will be up here for you to be taught the gospel over and over again. So just do the same thing and beat it like a drum. Beat it into your head so you be saying it when I'm not on here, when you're sleeping. And he said, don't go to sleep. The enemy came and sowed seeds while you were sleeping. You know what the word sow seeds means? It means to broadcast. So words are very powerful. He is the word, remember? Hokadesh, spirit, ghost. So better watch out. Ghostbusters, huh? I ain't afraid of no ghost. You better fear the Lord. Remember, only those who fear the Lord will be written in that third book. Remember, the lambs, the book of life, judgments, all will pass through the book of judgments, but only those who fear the Lord will have their name written in that third. Yes. Remembrance. You remember? So, yeah, it's called the book of remembrance. Go ask your pastor, your deacon, or your reverend. They don't know what that is. Biblical scholar. Ask them about the book of remembrance. Huh? So, that's all right. All will pass through the book of judgments. They'll know about that for sure, right? No matter your demon nation or denomination. So, you like a little play on words there? A demon is a liar. It's the word demonion. Read what the text says in the original text and stop reading perverted texts. Read what the word text that was canonized mean to find. One word at a time with a lexicon. You don't know a lexicon, don't ever say anything about the word. And nope, you got a problem because you're supposed to share it. Charity, remember? What the word be? Charity. Love is patient. Love is kind. It is meek. It does not boast. But most of all, remember, it is charitable with the word. With Father too, remember? So be patient. He does all these things after his own counsel and for his own pleasure. He beats the ones he loves. He beats the earth out of them, the ruled. So he's their master because he says you can't serve two, remember? He said he'd send the two witnesses. Those two thieves that would steal your crown. Oh, wait. Which crown? Who's your thief? So, who's your biggest enemy? I am my own nightmare. Idolatry, by self-will, you'll blot your name out of the book of lambs, book of life, and you'll go to hell. Probably already there. Don't worry about it. You're not going to hell. You can't go to hell. Go to hell. I don't understand. Exactly. So. It reminds me of an Ozzy Osbourne song. I don't know. No. I had to do it. We had to do a jukebox there for a minute. You guys are being too damn quiet for me, so. One more day, guys. Tomorrow's probably going to be the last day of HD Fat, or, oh well. So, I gave it everything I could, man. So, you could say I'm a quitter. You know, when I was young, I didn't finish a couple things, and I really felt like I should have, but I never went back and did that again. I made sure I faced my problems head on and make sure I finished what I say I'm going to do. So, I'm not done yet. No worries. Much agape, Sabrina. I appreciate the gospels, my love. It's what I have. It's all I have. I'm nothing without it. I'm just a bag of bones, and the gospel is everything to me. So I just love the word. I don't have anything else but it. You know, right now he took that away. He's taken all the fleshly things from me. I mean, I have all these other, but you know, the things that I don't want to downplay my bone, but you know, hope he doesn't separate me from bone. So he's already having a struggle already. So he's already been through a lot because of this. My animals have been put through, terrorized, and Tango had to go through quite a bit. Obviously, when I picked him up, his condition was not very good. So Father will work it all out, though. You know, but I wish I had some really good, you know, like, hey, this is what the attorney says, and remember, I've got nothing. I've just got nothing. Got nowhere. No more of it backwards, but I got you guys, so appreciate that. And I have all these, you know, memories of coming in here and be able to share the word, because I love that. I love to share the word. I can't stop doing it. So we were talking about that earlier. I need to go to a place if I leave here and try to take a vacation that's accepting, because I can't just go somewhere and be quiet about the word. I'm always going to share it no matter what. I can try to stop, but I won't. So bother makes me. Um, it just doesn't matter. Too deep into this, too many decades. Can't unturn me like that. Oh, he's already changed my heart and continuously just pours the gospel out on me. And so that's how it works. Oh, them coyotes, a bunch of coyotes out there tonight. So, yeah, like I said, I just be nice to have something to go off of, but I don't have anything. So maybe the attorney will call tomorrow and tell me something. And, I thought he was going to not go to trial. Remember, he said he positioned before trial and he never did. So, whatever's going to happen is already written. So no worries. Don't be anxious. Just watch. I'm trying to enjoy my last, I'll have tomorrow. I got to get a couple things done around here tomorrow. I really do. Yeah. A couple things done around here. I've kind of neglected to do some things just because I'm overwhelmed with the loss of Tango. And I was a little already getting closer and closer to this date. It's just been tough. So it doesn't seem believable. I've been in such a twilight zone that it doesn't seem real. So it makes total sense that I wouldn't get anything, and it would just probably not get better from here. It's probably going to get worse from here. But that's kind of my life is like that a lot. So it doesn't matter how hard I try. He just puts me wherever he wants me. And I mean, I'm here on this, beautiful property and all that. But remember, I don't get to share it with anybody. I don't get to share this American dream. I just have to live it by myself, And so I once again talked to Kevin. He's definitely not going to go with me. He's going to stay here, which I'm totally cool. I'm glad he found his home here, So, so if for some reason they don't, take me to trial tomorrow or something, I need to not, I don't know, I need to focus, it'll be, I kind of see past it a little bit. If I do or don't, I can see both. It's so weird. Sometimes I normally have a pretty good hunch of where one way or the other, but in this way, I can kind of just see both. Remember, I'm not, anything can happen, and still keeping an open mind that Father could do anything at any time. But I can see myself going to jail, and I can see myself not. But it's hard either way. I can tell you, it's not going to be easy. Even if this case gets dropped, it's going to be it's difficult. It's really doesn't make anything a whole lot better. It's more worrisome a little bit about that, because then I have a huge challenge. I mean, I can't do anything when I'm in jail. It just does the same thing. I'm in the same, just locked up, can't go anywhere. And that's why I already feel like I'm locked up, even though I get to, um, because I'm hyper focused on this, and I don't want to go try to just law this off, try to stay in the word. And that way, if Elijah too, or my daughter ever goes back and sees this, they'll know that I kept trying. I didn't bail on them, I kept trying to look for him, and I pleaded hard as I could to find him, and I never got anywhere. But at least I tried. It will be documented that I did try. It may have cost me everything, may have cost me my freedom for a while, but already has cost me a lot of money. And what I'm saying, my vision, and it's wrecked, and my whatever. I don't need to go into the physical aspect, but maybe Father's not done making me pay more price. I have to pay more price. So he's either going to make my life a lot worse in 2 days, or it's just going to get really hard. So there's no easy road for me. I already told you that. I don't know what I'm unveil, unveil, and I have to go right back at if I don't, go to jail. I have to call Josephine County again and find out why they didn't go there that day and get that passport. I've had to file a stolen passport now, and I did. Stolen, not missing, but stolen. And so I'm going to follow up on these things. I have to. I can't, let this wait after this. I have to go file those civil lawsuits, and I've been dragging my feet because it's not about the money to me. I'd rather struggle than have that much kind of money. I don't want the money. It's not about the money to me. So could already have chased that, but I'm more focused on trying to not, stay in faith, and Father will provide the out, or he won't. He'll just keep putting me further and further down, as I've told you. So I appreciate you being a witness. I can't do much about this, as you can see. Doesn't matter if I've had unpaid attorneys, legal counsel. I've paid one of the most expensive attorneys in the state. I'm still not getting any counsel. So Father obviously has his hands on something. I hope you can see that. How do I not get counsel when I paid, a tremendous amount of money, to get myself counsel? So I'm going to trial in one day, and my attorney hasn't told me what he's going to talk about, and I know there's been no, I have talked to him about, hey, my son and daughter need to be there. That violates my Sixth Amendment right, and he said, well, the state's, burden to bring them there. I said, no, that's my witnesses, to call witnesses in my favor. And remember, I don't remember the exact, I have to go look at what he said, but something like, can't find somebody if they're missing. Like, have you even looked for them or anything? He didn't call Josephine County. He didn't call the state police and follow it up with why. As Elijah just had to sit there and worry about my son and daughter every day. This is terrorizing. This is absolutely terrorizing me. It is menacing my mind every day not to be able to look for my son when I've already tried to report him and my daughter. I've tried. You know that I tried. You guys know that I've tried and tried and tried, and it just keep either throwing me in jail or, taking money, extorting me, or, rubbing the no contact order, taking my weapons from me, not even be able to protect myself anymore. Somebody could just come run roughshod on me without any ability. I wouldn't want to use a weapon. I don't want violence. Remember, I called for no violence. All this information is not going to be brought up. All the live streams that are on this playlist of the 250 some hours before they ever came, or that day where they came in here because I didn't let Elijah stop the car. Because of that, there was hundreds of hours. They could have come and de-escalated, talked to me, talked about Elijah's hours, of the 180 hours ain't even going to get brought up. How's that? The 180 hours. We all said 180 hours. When there was 133 that he did with his wife. This is insane. This is just the most unbelievable thing ever in the entire, case. I don't understand how this is even possible. They have violated every right that I have. I can't think of a right that they haven't violated, assault me and batter me and come in here and wreck everything and assault my animals and kidnap my daughter and assault my son and daughter, grenade them, hand grenade them, that's crazy. They weren't violent. His wife, why would they ever grenade Adriana, man? And they're going to get away with that? So, I don't know, man. But they're going to use the YouTube evidence against me, but they won't look at any of my evidence that I have to try to call favor in my witness. It's going to suck if I go to jail because nobody's going to be looking for these two, If not, there won't. Nobody will look for them. That's fucking disgusting. But it is what it is. I can't change it. As you can see, I've done everything I can. I don't know how many times I've tried to report them missing, even to the state police. I could buy instruction of my counsel. That's what he did counsel me to do, but they never followed up with me. So, what a nightmare, man. Maybe the nightmare. Maybe I'll wake up. They shot me that night. No, I'm already dead or something. I'll wake up from this nightmare and be like, oh, see, I knew it. I did get shot. Oh, so much better. Thank you. I'm not going back to being alive in that freaking nightmare. So, but it may continue and it may just get worse. I'm told you I'm prepared for that. So I don't like that I can see that, but it is what it is. I can see both. It's confusing. I can see more of me going in than not at this point, just because of everything that they've done, and there's just been they've done, and nothing has been done on my part. Nobody's helped me, my son, or my daughter. So we've all just been kind of gone into the woodwork here, and if they can throw me in a jail cell, then this case goes away. If they can unalive me in there somehow, some way, or something, it could happen. Then the whole case gets just washed, man. And maybe I should have filed the lawsuits earlier, but I don't care. That way I wasn't chasing money. That way I'll know. It wasn't about the money. You guys will know it wasn't about. Pastor could have filed those lawsuits. He could have told us. We could have. Any one of us could have millions of dollars. Maybe one of you guys will get that after or something if I go to jail. He'd be like, Pastor was asking us to help him get a lawyer. Like, we didn't cost us anything. All we had to do is be like a secretary and call somebody, show them the live stream, the SWAT raid, Maybe you'll get it after I'm gone or something. Nobody's going to look at this channel. Nobody's going to do shit. That's okay. Still love you. Don't worry about it. But I do appreciate you guys being here for me. You know what I'm saying? No, that's not the pin I have. Those are flash grenades. No. Flash concussion grenades. Concussion grenades. Go watch the live stream. So I have the tear gas is different than that's different. That's tear gas. The pins are from hand grenades. Those are fired out of a weapon. So I'm trying to. So I don't know, man. We'll see. Like I said, it's just not looking good for me because there's been no evidence called into witness, into discovery for me. It's all been against me. There'll be nobody showing up in my favor. There's even nobody that even from, I don't have family, see, or friends, so nobody would show up. So nobody will show up. Kevin, I'm thinking, I don't even know if Kevin, I'm hoping Kevin will drive me there. I don't know if you know. I'm pretty sure he will. I don't know if he wants to be in my trial and go in there and deal with that. He might not. I might be in there alone. If he doesn't want to go, I wouldn't blame him at all. So, but I just won't have anybody there. No witnesses, no evidence, no nothing nothing. No witness just to testify on my behalf, nothing. Or character witnesses or nothing. It's just depressing, man. That's what I was saying. That's why I was depressed the other day. I was like, dude, my life is so nothing. But whatever. I really don't care what happens to me at this point. I'm ready I'm ready just for anything. Some kind of closure. I might not get that. Might not get closure, see? You know what I'm saying? So, no counsel, no witness, no evidence, no nothing. It's looking pretty grim. You know what I'm saying? So, Looking pretty grim. Father can do anything, so I have faith still, though. I have faith. I have faith he'll do what he wants with me. I don't know what that is, but he'll do what he wants. So, but only one more day. I know some people probably get frustrated after seeing this channel, I won't have to be here anymore. People won't have to see me on this live stream. And a lot of people get irritated coming here and still see me in here talking about this. But what do you got to do? I have no other way to try to help my son other than this avenue. I've tried every other way. And I figure that maybe somebody I know somewhere in the world would help hear me from some other member, even called to be asked to put in witness protection, called to ask for any embassy in any other country to come help me, take me and my dogs out of here. Get me out of here. They're assaulting me. My family, maybe so they'll help, maybe some, but nobody will help me in this country, some other country, and nobody's helped me from even outside the country. So there's just been no help. Like I said, no victims advocacy, no veterans, nothing, just nothing. It's twilight. It's just so twilight. But, if it ends with me going to jail, it ends with me going to jail. It doesn't end there, but that's, it'll just get worse, like I said. So I'm not expecting anything. So, should have never gone this far. They dropped Adron's charges for the same thing they charged me with 14 months ago. Now they're dragging me through all of this 14 months later. And remember, they offered me a misdemeanor, no supervised probation, just a slap on the wrist. After all this, I'm like, no, thank you. I'm not going to take your deal. Just not. So whatever happens to me, because I have to be the one of these people that don't let these people just sit there and extort me willingly. So, there is lots of stuff you can go back. There is 6 channels that I've done, so there's plenty of apologize for all the cursing. You can go see thousands of hours before 2 weeks. I think into the menacing me and harassing me, and it's really stressed me out when I knew the state police came on this property. I knew we were going to SWAT raid the house after that. I knew it. I've been SWAT, I know that's where they don't have a SWAT team out here in this little valley, so they had to call. I knew it. That's why I pleaded them to call me, and they never wanted to de-escalate. So, I don't know, man. Just lost now. Like I said, no matter what happens, I'll be in a bad situation because I can't just lay down. I'm gonna have to either file an appeal, and I already called for change of venue. I don't think it should even be tried. It never should have been tried in this county. Ever should have been tried in this county. Ever. I've been screaming that on this channel. I have change of venue. I told Paul Palmer. I told the original attorney. God, I should refresh on his name, but it doesn't matter. And none of that's going to be brought into discovery tomorrow. But or not tomorrow. One more day. It will be tomorrow, and then there's just one more day. So, will the nightmare continue, or the nightmare continue? One way or another, it's going to be difficult. I guarantee you. So, I'm gonna just try to keep in faith and accept whatever happens to me. Is Father's already wrote it, so nobody's going to do anything to me on Tuesday that Father didn't want done to me. So I'm not going to be mad at anybody or anything, like get all emotional or anything. It's not going to do anything for me to get emotional. It's going to hurt, if it doesn't go the way I like it, but nothing's gone the way I like it, so it already hurts, I have a knowledge enough to know in the Word that He creates everything not written, so there's no way to change what's going to happen to me. It should be totally 100% obvious if you watch this over the last 551 days, or the days prior, terrorizing me to, and my son and my daughter. And then, like I said, that's the world we live in. They're probably going to get away with it. So much of this corruption in this country is just absolutely, it's bad. It's so bad. Law enforcement, the government, and I've served this, military, and just not the country it once was. So my being boisterous is ended up, hurting my son and daughter. I don't know why my son and daughter have to pay such terrible prices because of my activism, we'll call it that if you want to. My 12 years here on YouTube and 6 different, YouTube channels and a lot of live streams, man on the street video, a lot of different work done through the years to try to get you guys to see where we're at even today. Everything I ever studied is about these exact times that we're in right now. So nothing is surprising me here, and when I look around in the world. But in this case, there's no explaining it. God has to have his hands on it. So, but I'll have to start looking for Elijah again. I'm going to go and report them murdered and missing again. I'm going to try to get them to look into Marshall, because I believe Marshall's the one responsible for, if they're dead, it's because Marshall did it. And Josephine County knows something, because there's something about that property. There's a reason they didn't go on that property that day. They had a warrant for my son's arrest. It was not easy to call the police knowing that my son could be shot. I even said that. It's so crazy that I always document all my evidence. I'm a prior law enforcement officer. I know to document evidence, but I had witness and I didn't do that. And then they won't give the discovery that, the CAD call, give the call to Paul Palmer, the prior appointed counsel. Why won't they give the counsel, the call, when they told me that instead they threatened to throw me in jail and would not go look for my son. And I had 40 pounds of silver, a passport, and my daughter, who I said, look, all of that's irrelevant. This man might be raping my daughter. I need you to go look for her. They had already dropped her charges, so they should have went to look for her alone. And that non-call for service is criminal, what they did that day. So I have to go right back at that again, and that's not going to be good, and I have to figure out, why is the state police not taking a missing persons report when they had enough authority to come out here and shoot out all the windows in this cabin and tear gas, 5 tear gas canisters, hand grenade my son and daughter in their sleep, shoot my son with his hands in the air, grenade me, tear gas my animals. They can do all that, but they can't take a report of his missing body or her missing body. That makes no sense at all. This country has just failed me. As a veteran, I'm just floored at what the service that I did for this country. I can't go back and change it, but this isn't what I served for. This is what I did, and what I didn't defend the right of the people. All they've done is trample my rights, because I'm trying to assert my rights. My right of affirmative defense allows me to protect myself under the 4th Amendment. My right of self-defense, be secure my house, papers, persons, and effects. My ability to protect myself from legal prosecution. I know my rights. I used to be one of these jackboot thugs. Remember, I was a SWAT officer. It says it in their discovery. They could create all this discovery, but they never looked into what happened with my son, and that how he had gotten in trouble, but he had taken care of his business, not once, but twice. He got in trouble like 4 years. Then they come after him after 4 years and said he didn't do his probation. Bullshit, I had to stand up. And that was probably the biggest mistake that I made in my life, because now I don't have any contact with my son. And he's either dead or never wants to talk to me ever again. And I still can't believe he doesn't want to talk to me. He was supposed to be moving to the 20 acres here in this valley. He'd gone and looked at all the properties. I had 3 properties that he to choose from. I've sold 2. There's 1 left, but that's the one that's why I'm holding on to it, because he's the one he wanted. So with his wife, it's unbelievable what they did to her too. Literally kidnap. You kidnap somebody, you can prove that in court. That's a 25-year charge. If you do it with a gun, it's a life sentence. So I will be going after this a civil lawsuit if I do win this case. And it just makes my civil lawsuit that stronger because of a wrongful prosecution. So maybe tomorrow I'll get the call. The district attorney will decide to drop the case, because they really don't have much against me. I didn't force my son. I didn't stop him. I just told him, do not stop the car, because I didn't want him to throw him in a rape cage. I don't see my son get hauled off to prison when he has done his time, really times 3, because he's the only one out of the 5 guys that all were doing the same exact thing that went to jail. One of 5 guys, the only guy to go to jail. What? The whole case just stinks. So they can throw me in jail. They make all this 5 years go away too. All this protest and everything I've ever done out here. And it'll be Father doing it. And I just have to accept it and bite the bullet, man. Just not literally. I don't have any weapons, so I wouldn't do that anyways. But I already would have done that a long time ago. They sure tried to take my head off, didn't they? Hit me in the face with a grenade. So no, I raised my food, so I have time to hunt. I'm a farmer, so there's good honey around here. I just don't have time to do it. So I'm a farmer, I'm a homesteader, I'm an off-gridder, I have a ministry, I have a pastor, I have an animal. Hunting's a great way to go, though. Never heard of a recall on venison, have you? So get it. Learn how to hunt, trap, fish. Don't lose your skill set. Can't go to the woods, smell like the city. The deer just run right away from you. They're a lot smarter than you. So we'll see. I'm not looking forward to it either way, though. I just let you guys know. So whatever happens, like I said, it's definitely going to be a long road ahead. It's going to prolong, it's going to haunt me every day if they put me in a jail cell, because I'm still going to have to try to take care of filing an appeal, and that it should have been changed. But, whatever, however, I'm going to have to do that. I'm not sure how long that, process will take. And then however, I'm telling you, mark my words, as soon as I get out of jail, I'll go right back to looking for my son and daughter. So I found them already once, and then they wouldn't go get them, and I think they're gone now, and that's what's breaking my heart. Should have been a little wiser and taken my son's advice, because he was a very wise man and is a very wise man, but could have listened to him and taken the precious metals and not got him killed over the same metals. It may be the metal he told me to get rid of that ended up getting him killed. It's incredible how I could have my hands in his death, not literal physical, but not unbeknown to me that I could have sold the metal and went on the road, and I didn't. And I paid a dear price for that. Every day I have to think about that. And even with my daughter too. I already told you how that worked out, but will it get looked at? Probably not. All this evidence on here, none of it's going to get looked at. Nothing in my favor. All the cards are stacked against me, and don't be any way surprised if Father pulls something out too. He does. He can do that, but I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, well, I don't know about that. So, the Father's doing it. Father just testing me, I did what I did. I should have taken the precious metals, and went on the road. I'm a pastor. That's what I do. I share the gospel. I have to do it either way, as a disciple, a follower, a servant of the Lord, Christ, the HaMashiach, a servant. He's my master, but, I should have taken it and bought the vehicle and went on the road. Could have been out of the country by now, I could have been teaching the gospel in Spanish, and probably would have stayed in South America and not been. I don't know if I even get, if this goes away. I've been trying to travel and wanted to go try to set up a second ministry, because nobody has come to the ministry here in Silver Lake. So, but it's here to serve the ministry. I paid it off, but the whole secondary ministry was to grow food. It's a food-based ministry. We all got to eat, and nutrition is important. The body's a temple, and so providing an organic food base for the ministry, it would be more for my regulars. So I wasn't going to just send it out to everybody in this ministry. Ain't like that. It's going to be the people who frequent the channel, and the people I think need it too, need it the most. So I'm thinking about a secondary too, because I'm not sure if I want to stay on the North or South American continent. I've been talking about it on the live stream, trying to think of another location where I can grow food, because I don't want to fight. I'm a farmer. I don't hunt, but I can. I farm. I raise animals. I raise food, um, so I want to get to a better climate where I can grow, papayas and star fruit and, melons, like pineapples and different, avocados and things that I can't grow in the climate that I'm at, where I'm right now. So it can be done, but not the same things, and not in anywhere near. I'd have to do it all indoors, and why not? I can spit on a seed, and throw it on the ground, and you know, South America in many places. Uh, so you know, yeah, I wish, some, isn't it? Wish they just take me out of my misery, Justin. Just come out here and rub me out if you're gonna do that. You know what I'm saying? Uh, no, I'm in Silver Lake, Oregon. So, uh, but it's all right. It'll all work out. Like you said, if I do, I'm already looking at another location. I'm thinking about maybe the Philippines, because I got to a place where they can accept Americans. And right now, South America is not a great place. It's not that you couldn't exist down there, but I don't, my Spanish is not what it was. I mean, I don't hardly know any Spanish. I bet you I could pick it back up, but I'd have to be there putting boots on the ground. And so, you don't want to go to an area too if things break down even worse in this country and not speak the language. Not very safe. So, I just wanted to learn how to speak the gospel in Espanol. Hablo, the gospel. Speak the gospel and learn the gospel in Spanish. But that's okay. I can learn it in the Philippines too. I can learn how to speak, um, speak Filipino. That's fine. I would prefer Spanish, but uh, remember they got pesos over there, the Filipino peso. But uh, yeah, so we'll see what happens here on Tuesday. So we only really, today's kind of the end of the day. So I'm just considering it tomorrow at this point. Today's a wash, and one more day, guys. One more day. Well, if the attorney doesn't call me tomorrow, I'm telling you, it's not going to be good for me at all. It's not. If that attorney does not call me tomorrow, it will not be good for me, no matter the results. If the attorney calls me, he'll probably be calling to get the case dropped, or briefing me at the last moment on what the hell he's going to do, which I don't like last moment. That's not what I paid for, but whatever. It ain't about the money. So, uh, whoa, what a trip. What a trip. What a trip. So, it'll work itself out one way or the other. Like I said, it's either jail or bust at this time, right? Tomorrow will be the day that they drop it. If they are going to drop it, they're not going to drop it the day of the trial. So I'll know tomorrow, if they're going to drop it. If not, I'm going to trial. It's not going to be good if I go to trial. There's no evidence in my favor. So there's all the evidence is stacked against me. My son was there. My daughter was there. I could call all this prior witness, uh, but it is what it is. I'm just trying to enjoy my time. Like I said, I went and got a hamburger in town because I didn't get some red meat. Got some more tattoo. Got that. I really wish I'd have put one more stripe on that, but that's okay. It's healing up pretty good. Got some more of that dark work done over here to kind of finish that off. So it's finally finished. My arm is finally finished, the underside there. So they hit the stop sign for me again, put all that red back in there, made that all nice. And so the signs look good there. So, um, you know, had to do something. I knew the attorney wasn't called, so I'm like, go get a tattoo. I did it last time, remember? And he didn't call, so I'm like, I'm going to do it again, and he didn't call. So um, he called me the next day, but he didn't call this time. But maybe it's because I thought Monday was court, so maybe the Monday is the Tuesday. The Tuesday he's going to call. It was actually Monday, so. Uh, I went and got some burger, you know. As a matter of fact, I don't. Let me go over here for 1 second, real quick, guys. I left some of this out. Oh, see if I have a. I threw this in the can. Start cooking this off. Cooking it off a little bit. Probably or two. 1 day, 7. Oh yeah, it's gonna be nice and cold. It'll be all right. Be all right. It'll be all right. Be all right. Get it right. Get it right. Get it tight. Let's turn that on and cook that off so that we can maybe see if we have some peas. We'll throw some peas under that. Some peas. I gotta have 1 more can of peas. 1 more can of peas. Make some last of the hamburger. I mean, that lasts for days. I'm so thrifty. I'm so thrifty. Yeah, glad I got it. Fucking topper on dog shit. Alright. Get up there, buddy. Get up there. Get up there. Well, that's my spot. You gotta scoot over just a little bit. Can you scoot over a little bit, Bubbin? Come on, buddy. Oh, bud. Oh, buddy. Oh, my buddy. My buddy. He's my best bud. I love my bubby. My good bone. He's my best bone that ever did. Best and ever did have. In the whole wide world. In the whole wide world. So I got my headlamp on. I don't have the kitchen light on. I'm going to go turn it on. Hold on. Turn the kitchen light on. Plug my solar in. Plug the solar in. Get it right. Get it right. Get it tight. Oh, let me give you a little bit of this. Just a little bit here, brother. You're the best puppy I ever did have. Boy, you're so good. Let's see if we can find some peas. See if we can find some peas. Any more peas? Carrots. The carrots, if we're not, carrots are good too, huh? Yeah, carrots in a minute. Carrots in a second minute. Got lima beans. Got carrots. Ooh, how about in here? I bet you we put some in here. Didn't reach it over this cabinet first. Thought I did. They're all full to the about top. Green beans, 3 pumpkins. Oh, I need corn, no corn, no corn. can of peas. There's 2 more cans of peas right there. Good easy go. Love Jack. Oh, pop. Bottom of your pan pop there, puppy. Oh, I greased the bottom there a little bit. Seasoning on that. A little beef bone, a little pepper. Do it. Don't overdo that. Trying to do that. Pepper. Where is the can opener? There's one, there's 2. Lots of butter. Lots of butter. Gas pedal. Oh. Oh yeah. Spoon. Get that with a spoon. Scoot over, puppy. Scoot over, boy. Scoot over. Make it the rest of this hamburger. Would you scoot over there, big boy? Scoot over. You got a big bone. Scoot over there, big bone. It's gonna be hot. I'll let that cool off just a hair. Just a hair. Turn that down. Turn down for what? Let's check our wood, see how we're doing on the stove. Oh, time for some more wood. Time for some more wood. Chunk on there. All right. That take off. Were you hanging out with Bone? He was sitting here, huh? Being a good boy, like he always is. He's the best Bone ever had. So I made some peas and some burger. I like those two together. You're a good boy. All right, it'll be good. So I think peas are something that I found that people either love peas or they hate peas. Not a lot in between. Kind of like cilantro. I find as a cook, people are very opinionated. They'll tell you if they don't like peas. See, I don't like peas. See, they'll tell you if they don't like them. Understand. It's not the flavor for everybody. They kind of have a unique, peas kind of got a unique flavor, you know. I like the soft canned ones, you know. I like the store-bought ones, or like snap peas out of fresh peas, you know. You like fresh peas? We eat fresh peas? Like snap peas out of a garden? I bet you eat those, huh? Yeah, there you go. Right, like snap peas or... I forget some of those other ones are sweet. Yeah, fresh ones. But that's not like a pea. That's not like eating this. No way. The texture, you know what I'm saying? The texture probably is not right too on this. Maybe not so much the flavor too as the texture, so. Probably maybe too mushy for people. A little too mushy. Oh. But I like the canned peas. There are some of these canned peas now, they're like off-brand or different brands. I don't mind off-brand, but they're not soft like the Del Monte and what's the other one? Green Giant and Libby's, I think, all have that softer, but most of these other ones now, like, kind of got a harder, yeah, and have a harder outer. Even in the can, and they don't have that sweet, soft taste to them. Some of these canned peas, they taste like a fresher with a harder like husk on the outside of them. I don't like that style. I like them to be sweet and mushy. Like I grew up eating them as a kid. They were soft, canned, was soft, you know, and I love peas like that. You can almost, I don't mean if you don't eat peas, but if you do eat peas, just break them up to the top of the roof of your mouth and you don't get all the skins. Skins almost go away. They're still there, but they almost go away. Some of these other peas that they have that are peas out of a can, not fresh or not, you know, frozen, but the skin kind of stays harder and they don't go away and they're not quite so mushy and they kind of have a dull flavor to them. So they don't have that sweet taste to them. Oh, heck yeah. Peas and potatoes are awesome, yeah. Peas and carrots. Oh my gosh. Peas and carrots? Even canned carrots too, you know what I'm saying, are pretty good. I'm not really big on canned food, but you know, I've eaten it, you know. Trying to eat a bunch of it. But I got on this kick. Beef, you know, like hamburger, good hamburger chuck, you know, and peas. Really good together too. There's some good burger. It's not that million cow burger. It's single cow burger. Or 1,000 cow, I think that, or something like that. Have some 1,000 cow burger. Nope, we used up all one battery. Oh, second battery now. When you are the power company. See that? We just sent a guy out to fix power. See how fast we work here at this power company? We had a power spike, so Bitcoin crashed. And silver went way up. Going up again. And look, silver's over 57, so that means it's like 63 bucks to buy it right now. Hold it in your hand. It's $57 for the paper contract. If you want to put it in your portfolio, but if you want to own it, you're going to pay much more. No, it's gonna keep going up. I don't think it's gonna stop. I told my son about this day many years ago when we were buying metal at $13, $14, $15 an ounce. He was buying metal too. His own uncle, who's a millionaire, stole all his silver. Jeremy. I ain't afraid to say it. He was young then too, man. That's crazy. He worked hard to earn all that silver. You know? grades. He had 5 pounds of silver at like 16 or something like that. Almost 17. Yeah. Not bad. He get money like he'd buy a video game or something like that, but he wouldn't buy 2 or 3. He'd buy some silver. It's good. He's smart. All right, can't eat no more. All right, fill me up. Oh, that was good. What'd that put in the fire? Best part, the Berkey. Oh man. Yeah, super good. So no, it took everything from us. Took everything I owned. And just not just the silver, but everything. Over $200,000 worth of stuff he took. Freeze dryers, generators, wood stoves, lots of survival equipment. 15 years worth of stuff that I had collected and brought out here, you know. But that's what normally who takes them from you is somebody you know. So it's the way it normally goes. But to take from his own nephew, you know, that's some pretty low crap, man. For me, he don't like me. The family don't like me, but they should be taking it out on Elijah. Elijah's had everything taken out on him. I see why he doesn't want to be around me. They punish him. He gets punished. Now his wife's been punished too. See what I'm saying? They got grenaded, so because of me. So can't blame them for never wanting to talk to me again. But doesn't mean I still won't look for him, try to find him. I'm the one who got him into this mess, so even back when he was younger, got him in trouble when he was younger because of my activism. So that led to all that stuff getting taken from him, so, and me. So it's just been a nightmare for a long time. These last 10 years have just been an absolute terror. They have. It just gets getting worse and worse too. I don't even want to go in. I've talked about it on here before. He's really made these last 10 years, and I just terrorizing. It went long before that. I mean, all my whole life has been like that. Everything is, it's always an uphill battle. So, but I know we all have our issues. I got mine. some of us got more issues than others. So. But looking forward to this day, though, so I can get it out of the way. Whatever happens to me, happens to me. And if it has to put a pause in looking for my son and daughter, then I'll have to put a pause on looking for my son and daughter. I can't look for them in jail, can I? So, how's it going there, Bones? So, yeah, just, it's all coming ahead, man. Maybe one more day. You'll have to deal with this one more day. It'll either be done with, so to speak, with the case with me trying to, I still have those 2 other charges. I'm not sure. I'm sure if they drop it, they're going to drop all of them and not just the ones. But I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know anything. My attorney hasn't told me anything. So hasn't said anything. Hasn't told me what will be talked about at trial. Hasn't brought up any evidence at trial. Hasn't talked anything. Just nothing's been brought up. So whatever, man. Whatever's gonna happen, gonna happen. Just kind of a hard way to go out like this. You know what I mean? Father just making it as difficult as he can. So he's made it tough, man. This is about as tough as you can get here. I mean, I can't even report my kids freaking missing, and I keep getting thrown in jail for trying to help them out. It's not even my case, yeah, they ain't never had a case like this out here, but yep. It's all coming. Tomorrow is pretty much here, so just one more day. The trial's on Tuesday, so trial Tuesday. Is it trial Tuesday? What's gonna happen? What are they gonna do to me? I'm gonna actually let me throw another piece of wood on this other piece here. Another piece of wood, yeah. There we go. That'll get her going. We'll put 3 pieces on here earlier today. We were freaking roasting here. Me and the puppy, we were roasting. So, all right, better take some more bong hits because can't take bong hits in jail. Oh yeah, there's Kevin will be here. He bought the property next to me, so he'll have to look after pants, my animals, the chickens. I have animals and stuff. Smoke him if you got them, boys. Whatever, I don't, the nice thing about cannabis, because that's all I do is just use cannabis. If I don't have it, it's not the end of the world. Like, oh well. So gives me better quality of life when I have it, but I'm not, I don't detox if I don't have it or anything like that. It just, a sciatic is just it just more pain, the pain don't go away, so just more pain. So oh man, hold on, I need some more water. So yeah, it's been nice. We have 5 cords of wood this year. We'll burn it all no, I won't. Not this year. It's been mild this year. Mild. right, we got the Berkey filling. We'll have to fill that up a little more. So. Yeah, so I don't have any addiction to cannabis, so it's a nice thing. It's not one of these pathway, type things like they make it. So it helps me. It's medicine, so I don't have an addiction to something. When you can set it down, it doesn't withdraw, and I'm saying just helps the sciatica, like I said, helps the signal pain tell my body that my body wants to try to fix itself, and the nerves are telling it to go get surgery when you have the kind of damage that I have to my body that I haven't fixed. So it works good for that. Works good for the signal pain. Slows it down, slows the receptors, and so, but like I said, a habit I doesn't change, doesn't really, I don't get high or anything like that when I, use cannabis. So, but there are things that people have a addictive personality. I don't have addictive personality. So if I have to set something down, it's not the end of the world, so I didn't do a lot of hardcore drugs or anything growing up, but, I did smoke cigarettes, that was kind of that's caffeine can be addicting, nicotine can be very addicting too. Those are very addicting. Cannabis isn't like that with me. I don't, like I said, it's just I have it, I use it, because it helps. But if not, whatever. I don't really think about, oh man, I gotta get some pot, man. I gotta smoke some weed, man. I don't think, my brain doesn't go through any of that. Doesn't think about it. I know people are like crackheads. I gotta get some crack, man. I don't smoke no crack. I've never smoked crack. So I said it earlier. It is human nature to destroy the mind and alter the body. It is human nature to destroy the body and alter the mind. So that's pretty epic right there. So that comes from a guy I know that I met in Alaska when I was up there. He told me that. And I was like, dude, I'm stealing that. So I become comfortably numb. Don't work like that. Yep, a dopamine thing. So I use it for my back, man. I showed you X-rays of my back and stuff. My back is hammered, man. Two times breaking it and never having surgery, and it's rewelded itself naturally together with the fused itself together. It's not a pretty looking sight back there. So, but it works. I'm upright. I can still function. So the body's resilient. What doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. So I'm thankful for having access to it, though, when I'm not, if I don't go to jail. When I can use it, I will. If I need it, so it's a preventive thing for me, like, because it helps slow down those receptors so it can function a little better, if I'm staying on the property throughout the day, I'm not going anywhere. It's like a preventive medicine to me. So preventive maintenance. Better to have some in me than not. So with all the disgusting, terrible things in this world that can give you see her, works real well with that for a lot of peoples. So especially when you grow your own. When I grow my own this year, I got some good herbs. Thank you, Father, for the good herbs. All naturally grown with chicken fertilizer that I grew from the chickens that I grew. So, and then organic cane sugar and organic honey. So it turned out lovely. Isn't she lovely? She's my favorite flower. that grows up out the dirt. So, remember Genesis, it tells us if it's bears seeds, it's here for us to consume. So, like the meat, eat of the meat, smoke of the Cheech and Chong all night long, pass it around. Pup up, give. Pup up, give. Oh, Father, you're so brutal. One more day. Maybe. Maybe-ish. Maybe one more tomorrow day-ish. We should say that, huh? Maybe-ish, tomorrow-ish, day-ish. That all something will happen-ish, maybe-ish. For sure, Father, 100%. We'll do it. So, me, maybe-ish. I don't know-ish, maybe-ish. Give myself a little wiggle room-ish. I'm going to try to get there about 8:30-ish, 8:38-ish or something. Starts at 9-ish. Oh my gosh. Nobody will be there. No witnesses in my favor. Oh, Lord. No evidence in my favor. No witness in my favor. No discovery. Oh, I hear my little sweet pea out there. Jennifer is making some noise. She must be saying something to Yesher boy. Yeah, I got no witnesses, man. No witnesses in my favor. No evidence in my favor. No discovery in my favor. It's just all against me. It's all against me. Father made everything against me. He did. You guys are witness. There's nothing. There's not going there with like, okay, well, here's what I have to prove my innocence. There's nothing there. I don't have any way to prove my innocence. My attorney didn't call any evidence into discovery, so I will not be able to bring anything into the witness. I won't be able to call it into discovery. They have the evidence against me, oh, no, I won't say that. So there can't be any evidence brought into court. I would know it. The John would have had to gone over it with me. Do you see what I'm saying? There is no evidence in my favor. The only evidence in trial is going to be against me. So I don't have any idea what the hell is going to happen in that courtroom. Obviously, they get to present their side, but if he doesn't have any evidence, I don't know what he's going to present. He hasn't even talked to me about what he's going to say, what he wants me to say, if I get called onto the witness, if they call, He said I don't have to show up on the witness stand. I'm like, whoa, man. Things are tough all over, man. Things are tough all over, So, oh well, what can you do, man? One day at a time. Like I said, I'm just doing her one day at a time. I got one more day. I don't want to do this anymore. You guys don't have to listen to me bitch and whine in here anymore. But they're going to throw me in jail without any evidence. No evidence in my favor. I mean, oh well. What a waste of my time. I just wasted like 2 years of my life. I'll probably get a couple years in jail. Last person, like I said, Kevin said he talked to a lady down there, and some lady I talked to, I can't even figure out exactly who she is at this point. I mean, it could be a couple people that I know down there. But she said her husband was offered the same deal. A single misdemeanor and unsupervised probation. And he fought it, and he ended up getting 2 years because he fought it. They threw the book at him out here. They're all mad at him. So This has actually been the COVID since the COVID, the beginning, the start of 2020. So I've been dealing with this for about 6 years now, not just 2 years. So it's been 551 days since they SWAT raided the cabin and ran over all the corrals and the kennels and all the pens out here and wrecked everything and did their tirade. But that won't be brought up in trial. Yeah, he told me the evidence they had against me, but he never told me any evidence that he was going to use in my favor. So it's like, whoa, man, this is getting, you're going to get thrown away. They're going to take you and throw you in jail forever. Throw away the key, man. Make an example out of you. So that's what I'm preparing for at this point in time. So I don't have anything else to go on. And like I said, the thing that just bothers the fuck out of me is that Noah would be looking for my kids. Not even his own, not anybody in his own blood family or anything. Apologize for the cursing, but what a nightmare. Maybe I'll wake up. Maybe I'll wake up tomorrow and it'll all be over. It'll be my last day here. I'll be like, yay. Go home and take a dirt nap. Be rest for a little while. I feel a little wore out after these last 10 years. It's just been a beating. Yeah. They were. It's always been difficult, but he's just really made these last ones just super. This last decami has just been a whole stack of events that just keep leading one to another. It just keeps, like I say, go back. Look, I've been blogging for 12 here on this platform. So the thing started before I started blogging, but that's when things really started getting bad. I started a couple years after blogging, after Truth Viral, America After Truth Viral. And I know why. It is what it is. I remember that day when, like I said, years, quite a while ago, and they're like, man, this is going to make my life hell. This could cost you a lot. And I don't know. I don't know. My attorney didn't say anything, and I'm saying, James, I don't know. I just don't know. I paid for an attorney tens of thousands of dollars, and he doesn't even tell me how long I get if they convict me. I don't know, man. This isn't that crazy. Normally, your attorney will tell you, hey, man, you're looking at about, if they convict you this or that, or, because there's multiple charges, that if they get you on 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, or, because you don't have any prior charges, you're looking at this, or, normally if you have prior charges, they go through, how many charges or nothing, but I have no idea. I looked up online. It looked like for a misdemeanor, it was a year, but these are felony charges. So, interfering with a peace officer, felony, interfering with a peace officer, 2 felony counts, hindering prosecution, felony counts, or criminal conspiracy. That's a class A misdemeanor, and then menacing or harassing the police and menacing the police. All my charges are against the police. So menacing the police, harassing the police, interfering with the police, and you know what I'm saying? They're all cop charges, man. I'm not a menace to you guys. I'm a menace to the cops because they keep trying to throw my son in jail, man. I got to do something. I had to do something. They were going to throw him in prison for 7 years wrongfully. So I don't have regrets. There are some things that I could have done differently, but I can't go back and change them. So I'm not trying to do something worry about I can't change. I'm only thinking about, I'm not worried about anything. I'm just trying to look to the future so I can figure out how to stay in this meat suit, man. We got to endure to the end to be safe. So we got to figure out a way to stay in the game. It's not a game, but No matter how hard he makes it, we got to just keep pushing, man. I'm glad he made me a veteran, and you know, no, they already offered me a deal, Poodle. You don't understand. They already offered me a misdemeanor. Uh, yeah, tomorrow might be the last day of HD fat here, so because I have court first thing the next day. So tomorrow will probably be the last day of the channel. If I go to jail, it'll be the last day of this channel. Yeah, for I don't know how long, but they did already offer me a deal. So they offered me the smallest misdemeanor. I have 7 charges, but they offered to drop everything and just give me a single misdemeanor and unsupervised probation was their deal. They hadn't offered me a deal in, you know, 18 months or whatever it's been or something like that. Yeah, but no deal had been offered, which is crazy because they always offer deals. But they said they drop it down to just a misdemeanor, drop all the felony charges, and let me walk with a slap on the wrist. I told them to fuck off. So whatever. I might end up in jail because of it, but oh well, at least I stood up to the system. I have a backbone. You see, I have to answer to Father after I leave this rock. I'm not afraid to, you know, judgments by any judge or whatever. They can do whatever they want to me, you know. So, but I won't take a deal. So, doesn't matter what happens to me. Even if they throw me in jail, it's not anything that Father didn't write. He wrote everybody to do everything in this case to me already that they already did, and my son and my daughter. So they're not going to do anything to me that Father didn't already write. He creates all things. So everything not written. Tuesday is already written in his book. We're just going to see an unwinding of his writings when we get there. So if it's them hauling me off to jail, I already can see that. So, you know, it's something I can picture in my mind, and I normally don't, you know, picture things that aren't plausible in my mind. Sometimes I can see things years in advance before they ever happen, but it doesn't matter. I can try to avoid things like this. In this case, it didn't change anything. I never got anywhere in this case in 18 months. I spent over $100,000. Actually, it's 5 years old. This case is more than 5 years. I've never got anywhere. It's only cost me. I've been thrown in jail multiple times because of this. Just trying to help my son. It's not even me. It's his case, but somebody's got to help him out because nobody will help him. So, but and they're going after him because they're pissed off at me. So, you know, like I said, people think they know what's going on, but most people have no idea how Father works, and you know, think there's free will, and think there's luck and fortune. None of that's true, you know. So everything that's supposed to happen to me will happen. So it's already a mistrial. If they take me to trial without my son and daughter, it's already a violation of my 6th Amendment. So, you know what I'm saying? It's already a violation. So, and they've already violated my rights over and over again. So I've already called for a change of venue. This should never be tried. I've already proven, go back and watch the videos on this channel, that this is the case that qualifies for a change of venue because of prejudice, jury prejudice, or, you know, not the ability to get a fair trial, you know, by judge or jury or public, you know, political. This case checks every single box, put an X on it, a check mark for a change of venue. So, but they won't do it. So I don't care if they take it to trial. It's still a mistrial. So they didn't have my son and daughter there. They were in the car that day. If they're not there, then it's a mistrial. I have the right to call witness in my favor, evidence. That's my 6th Amendment right. So I don't know if you know what your rights are, but I know my rights. So your 6th Amendment is your right to trial. If they're going to bring you to trial, charge under Title 18, they have to charge you, right? Well, we won't go there, but under the Title 18 revised statutes, they're charging me with these, you know, facing 7 charges. So, you know, it's all a big, you know, show to try to get me to take a deal. So if I don't take a deal, they're going to throw the book at me. So I already know that. So that's what I'll do. Just do what Father tells me to do. Father wants me to go into jail, I'm going to jail. Can't change that. I already tried to change everything in this case. Look where it got me. Nowhere. May have got my son and daughter killed. So don't need to try to push anymore on this. Just let Father deal with it. And whatever happens will happen on Tuesday. So it's disgusting. This case, you know, you could write, somebody could do a movie, go through it, make a channel. You guys all have all access to any content on this, you know, channel. I won't, you know, while it's still up, I'm going to try to keep the channel up if I end up having to, whatever happens to me if I'm not here. So I've tried to make some kind of arrangements for that. So you guys could still come in here and have conversation. And, you know, not, the channel is not about me. The channel is about a fellowship of the ministry. So there'll still be content up here even if I'm gone. So the ministry will be here. So well, don't drag on forever. What do you mean? The Sixth Amendment right is the right to spare and speedy trial. That's what your Sixth Amendment rights protects you from, the exact opposite of that. So it is your right to fair and speedy trial. So, call witness in your favor. So, but they can go 3.5 years on a felony. So they could technically drag this out for 2 more years if they wanted to. In the courts, that's the way the courts are set up. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's just gonna sit here. Just all sit here. I'm not building a hut. But nope, everything's just gonna have to sit here until I get out of jail. So but hey, at least there's a date. It's set for trial. You know, they didn't drag it on so far. I talked to somebody else and said, you know what's going to happen? You're going to get a call Monday, and they're going to say, hey, the attorney's going to call them and said, hey, they set that over for January. And you're going to be like livid because you told them no, but they're going to do it anyways. I'm like, you don't even say that. You know, I don't want to hear that. You know, you know. Because they can, if they wanted to, technically, they can say, well, we didn't have a witness, and, you know, so they'll do whatever they want, man. Whatever they want, they will do. You won't do shit in that courtroom. So. Man, it's a little chilly here, guys. I think I'm going to... I gotta get this fire. I need to rip air a little more. Put my coat on. Ooh, that was a little gassy. Gas pedal. Oh. Come on. Get the cooking in there, fire. So, but won't that be a beautiful day for me to be able to get somewhere in this case, whether it's in jail or not? At least it'll be something. You know what I'm saying? At least it'll be something. At least I won't have to sit around here and hope and not hope, but just sit here in faith. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Cool. No worries. So, Father will keep me in his, you know, in his grips. That's for sure. That's P.O.Box. So he'll keep pinching me. But I got a long road ahead. Even if I get, you know, these charges taken care of, I still want to try to figure out how to get the charges dropped on my son, my daughter, and then I have to file these lawsuits. So that could be quite the, you know, daunting task as well. I don't have to probably do a lot on that, but it's going to take some time to get those lawsuits filed. Not like tremendous amount of time, but it's just something I didn't want to do at all. I didn't want to sue anybody. I don't want to sue. wasn't, I don't want to sue. I wanted them to drop this so I can move on. And my son and daughter, if they want to sue, they have massive lawsuits. They both have massive lawsuits. They do. They overworked Elijah, then they grenaded them both, and then kidnapped my daughter. So they owe him a lot of money. If my son and daughter are alive, they would have all the wealth that they would need to live a comfortable life, would not have to struggle ever again to worry about any funding. They're owed a lot of money. My daughter was kidnapped. I told you that's a life sentence if you kidnap somebody with a gun. So yeah, you know, this is definitely a test of my faith. So it has been, and so hopefully people can be a witness to what's transpired here and go, man, I need to keep going. That guy just kept going. He didn't stop. No matter what they did to him, he just kept pushing and leaning forward. And so that's all I can do. So like getting thrown in jail is not the end of this. You know what I mean? I can already see past that. And that's a good thing, because it's not like, oh, I go to jail and it's the end of the world. No, it's not. It just postpones this. It just keeps it going like it is now. Because you got to deal with a bunch of dudes that are, you know, whatever. I'm not worried about it. It is what it is. It'll be what it'll be. So, yeah, no, they have to now. Like I said, they have to. They're going to have to do something. And like I said, them postponing the case is not going to really do much for them. Although they asked to do that already. They wanted to postpone it until January. So, it wouldn't be a surprise to me if I got a call from the attorney tomorrow and said, well, I talked to him again, and you know, there's no, you know, they can't get the officer to show up or something, so they're gonna postpone it until, you know, or something wild like that I wasn't thinking. I mean, I've kind of already put it out there, but because it was that's what was said, you know, the two options. We'll give you a single misdemeanor and, you know, drop all the charges and unsupervised probation, or they want to postpone the trial until January. I said no and no. So no, I won't take a deal, and no, I don't want to postpone the trial. So I have children that I'm trying to locate their well-being, see if they're even alive anymore. So if nobody's going to help me, then I need to be the one looking for them, right? So probably the worst thing in the case could happen to be to go to jail, because then nobody's going to look for them. So, but maybe they're alive and fine somewhere. I doubt that. I don't have any evidence to point to that either. So if I did, I would tell you right now. And I don't. Man, that spot, that's just all hard a spot to reach there, damn it. My damn head doesn't feel good on my tattoo. So, heck yeah. One more day, guys. One more day. Something will happen, or we'll, you know, like I said, and then we'll get, I don't know. See, I shouldn't even say that. That's why I've been so hesitant to even, you know. But it is. There's a date set for trial. So, and maybe that's why the attorney hasn't called me, because he plans on postponing it till January as well already. So maybe that's another thing that they already know they're going to postpone it, and I just don't know that yet. You know. I'm going to be the last to know, I guess, huh? What a long, grueling, daunting this is kind of a long day. It's kind of a long day. I'm sure tomorrow's going to be, oh my God, I don't even want to think about tomorrow, guys. I don't mean this like, but maybe Father will just take me in my sleep tonight. I don't want that, remember? I don't want that. So, I don't want to have to worry about it anymore. Just take a long dirt nap. So, yeah, I know. They do that. They don't allow any. That's crazy. It's an adult stream too. I check the block, for adult stream only. So flipping A, man. Flipping rights. So I probably should get off here pretty soon. What time is it? It's probably about 7 o'clock or something like that. 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Oh yeah. So get some rest. Try to rest. Well, I have not slept really well at all. So kind of nerves are a little bit off. So be getting about an hour of sleep, waking up, and just can't seem to get myself to get back to rest there. So been getting up and then got up for a little bit, laid down, then I got about another hour. So I think I slept about 2 hours last night. Yeah. Feel like tonight I don't know even know if I'm gonna get any rest or not. So I appreciate you guys coming in, and I hope that if someday that my son looks back at these videos, if he's alive, he knows that I was looking for him and my daughter, and I didn't stop, and I kept trying. So I gotta do it for him too. I don't love my son more than I love the Word, because the Word just is a ministry, but that's the only option I have to try to locate him. So, and maybe someday he'll be able to look back at these videos if he is alive and know that his dad cared about him. I didn't abandon him. I didn't stop trying to look for him. They just wouldn't let me. I just did everything I could. So I'll try to come in tomorrow. I have no promises. Tomorrow I don't know how I'm gonna feel. So I already feel a little weird. So that. So I might take the day to myself. And just I don't even know. Like I said, it's just gonna be a weird feeling tomorrow. One day before, knowing that I'm going to court the next day, especially if the attorney doesn't call me. I'll kind of know that my goose is cooked, so to speak, or my. So I'll try to come in here. I mean, I don't have anything. I just probably need to get a couple things done around here. I just feel kind of drained. But told you it's not a drain. I just feel kind of like a hovering feeling, if you will, like an outer body. That's kind of how I feel. Like I'm out of my body already somehow. It's kind of a weird feeling. I told you I never felt like any depression before. I just haven't. I've been able to not. I've been down and out before, but not like I was feeling like, man, I got nobody showing up to trial. Nothing there. There's just nothing there. I'm just walking into. It's like walking into your own death, knowing that you're gonna, So here we go. Here we go. So Father will carry me. You know what I'm saying? No matter what. No matter what he does to me, I'm not worried about it. Even if it's other men that are, doing things to me that I don't want, whatever. Father's will be done. Glad I know that. So stay in the Word, brothers, sisters. That's what I can tell you. Stay in the gospel. The only way to the Father is through suffering. So if your life is easy, you're probably not in the narrow way. You're not going through tribulation. That's not the gospel. So remember, peace is Antichrist. He didn't come to bring peace. He came to bring a sword of division. And he tells us if we love our life, if we love anything more than him, we're not worthy of his kingdom. So the kingdom of heaven is within. And he'll be with me in court on Tuesday. So he always is. Luke 12:11. Oh, ye be without counsel. They'll throw you in front of their magistrates and their men in their synagogues, and they're try to scare you in their black robes. And don't worry what you shall say, I'll give you the answer. So I have an attorney, but if he ain't gonna say anything, I'm gonna say something in court, and that's probably gonna land me in jail. But that's not I don't fear that at all. I'll get my day in jail, right? Or I'll get my day in court, one way or the other. So that's my right of trial, but this is my Sixth Amendment right, and they're gonna violate it anyways. But if they take me to court, it's a mistrial already. So I already told that to the attorney, the paid attorney that I have. So I'm so thankful that I know the word, and it keeps me calm and still, and I'm not nervous and freaking out like, oh my God, I'm about to go to jail, or I got to go to trial, or just kind of a bummer that I don't have anybody there to be there with me in my favor. I just got to get the book thrown at me. So whatever, they're going to make the word come to pass. Remember, it said before, they hated you, they hated me, right? So I'm not here to be loved by this world. It says if you're loved by the world, you'll be hated by my Father. So I know where the word stands. I hope that you've been able to glean, and please try to remember that I'll try to keep this up. If I go away, and I'll have Kevin give the phone to Kevin, so maybe he'll keep it up so you guys can still come in here and fellowship. I'm not trying to abandon you guys if I end up, going to jail or something. I have no hard feelings against anybody, no vengeance. I'll just go in there and do my time and try to file an appeal and keep pushing. Just keep pushing. I'm not going to give up. So if I want to be with Shiloh, if I want to be with Father, I can't give up. I got to endure the very last breath that I have on this rock. Die girded in his service. So be ready. Prepare ye the way. He's preparing something in my life. I don't know what it is, but he has a plan for me. I'm not making him, because he'll wreck them. So I'm just being prepared as I can. I want to try to be a wise virgin and not a foolish virgin. So it's all about a wedding. Prepare thee either way, brothers and sisters. Remember, it's the wedding feast of the Lamb. So if you're not excited about being a bride, then you don't understand where you're headed. And that is what this is all about, this wedding feast of the Lambs. And but that's after this life. So if nothing after life excites you, like not some, I'm going to be in the sky, that's not what happens. And it's phileo. So I have more agape for anything for the word than any phileo of this rock. So I'm so abundant of that and been given that bounty that I would never need anything else on this rock. Not even one more breath do I deserve to take. It should be given to me, because I've been given more than any one man could ever been given, especially with the blessing and abundance and the bounty of this ministry. It's just been more than my mind could have ever fathomed, because I only had one person that I'd attached to on this rock. I never found anybody but my son. So I know there will be others because of this ministry. So I'm so thankful that Father created this through the fellowship with Jim Brown to tell me I can't be a loner and just sit here all by myself. I need to share the gospel. It's part of what the scripture tells us. So prepare ye the way. Do not hide that light in a basket. He said, put that light at the top of your house. Do you understand? Let him speak for you. Will you be without counsel? Luke 12:11. They'll throw you in front of their synagogues, their magistrates, and the men in their black robes. Do not worry what you shall say. I will give you the answer. It's written on the hearts of the bride, brothers and sisters. Read that scripture. Okay, please. If you haven't, the backbone of this ministry is Matthew 10:34 through 39. Please read that until you don't need to read it anymore. It's already on your heart. If you read it, he will reveal it. Be very, very surprised how much of the scripture you kind of already know, but you need to sup with it. You need to make sure you're supping There's no Yahushua, but it's no Hebrew. That's not ever written in text. So there's no Yahuwah. That's not, you have the study of a young child. There's no vowels in Hebrew. Go back and study some more. So I don't know who Yahushua and Yahuwah and Yahushua Mashiach, I know what you're talking about, but you don't speak any Hebrew at all. So go back and study the Hebrew and take those vowels out of the Hebrew. There's no vowels in Hebrew. Grow up, child. Okay? There's no vowels. There isn't. Go back and get your interlinear Textus Receptus and study the New Testament. The Hamashiach was, if you can take correction, you'll be just fine, okay? Because you just need, that's what I need correction. I went back and took decades to, more to unstudy and unlearn and relearn. So let me give you, and Brother Jim can speak Hebrew and Greek, and no other man can, and I'm not putting him on a pedestal. Brother Jim is just a man like you and me, and any man that can be corrected and not an ass is somebody who can learn, and they're welcome in this ministry. People who can't be corrected with the word are not welcome. He said, don't sup with vipers and don't cast your pearls before swine. So it's not a deal breaker to me. I don't like fighting over letters. This ministry is much more mature than that, but we can let each other know these things so that we can, he's not worried about letters or numbers, okay? They're important. He's worried about, are you standing up to a version of his law? So if he said don't add a jot or a yod, and now you've added yod, well, jot or a tittle, my bad, so you don't want to add, you've added yods to the Old Testament. There's no vowels in Hebrew, like there's no J's. You're fine. That's what I'm saying. You'd be totally fine. Well, you'd be fine. Father's got you on the narrow way. So go see Jim Brown. Jim's sick right now, and having some issues with some bronchial issues, but he has 4,000 plus YouTube ministry lessons that you can go learn. And there is a live stream that goes up every Wednesday and every Sunday. They'd be more than happy to answer any of the questions that you have. And nobody's going to be rough with you like I am over here. They're actually very, not rough, but that I'm that rough, but they will correct you over there much, a little more. It's just a whole different ministry over there. Okay. It is a beautiful thing to have the ability to fellowship with my brothers and sisters that are in the narrow way, people who will want to be corrected by the word. It's a feel good Jesus. No, it's not. He said, I came to bring a sword of division. There is no Jesus. There's no such thing as Jesus. There's no J in Greek. Remember, like there's no vowels in Hebrew. So, but that's not, see, why fight over letters when he said, hallowed be by Shem, not my name. He didn't say name. He didn't mean Yeshua or Yahweh or Yahushua HaMashiach. He didn't mean these things. He said, my authority, my Agape, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy were the Old Testament. Go see Jim Brown at so you're fine. So you're fine. You know that. And once you know that, and then you can go back to, I can already tell you, let me help you right here, just with this. If you don't have this book that I'm holding up right in front of you, and this is a 4-volume set, if you don't have this book right here, you're not reading the right text. This is the interlinear Textus Receptus, where they canonized, meaning they defined every word in the 12th century. And this is a 4-volume set where it's written in the Old Testament in Hebrew and in the English, and in the New Testament in the Greek and the English. You can use your eSword app, your lexicon, which helps Old Testament define every word. Just start studying one word at a time. Don't read it anymore. Stop thinking it's a book. You can pick it up like it's not a Bible. That's a child. That Bible Bible means book, so this is the canonized version that was canonized, where they pulled out every word in the 12th century, and it's actually written in Hebrew and in English. And if you look here, word is coded with the Strong's Concordance, meaning you can one word study these words and find out in your concordance where it was said and who and how many times, so you can go back and study the word. This is called the Interlinear Textus Receptus. It's a 4-volume set. See, interlinear, both written in Hebrew and English. There's 53 books in the Old Testament that were canonized. They pulled 22 of them out because they were not aligned with the definition and they were not aligned with the scripture, with the gospel. So there's 2 Enochs, not just 1 Enoch, you know, Jasher, Lilith, all these. I've studied and read the Quran, I've read all these. There's gospel in them, but that's not the gospel that are in the gospel of Christ, the Hamashiach, the one who hung from a tree. Nobody hung from crosses. Cross is pagan. That's the Ankh. He warned us of idolatry and imagery, and people fall for all these things. So you got to be careful. This world is full of it. This is Satan's playground. Satan means the adversary. And the adversary is anybody who adds a jot or a tittle to his book. In the book of Revelation, the very last words he left us with, the Hamashiach, the one they hung, the one who hung for the sins of the world, right? Remember, this people have lost the whole idea of what the whole idea was, who the Hamashiach was, and the covenant that he made with his bride. Now remember, in this New Testament, there's 13 books. It's an old Jewish book written in Greek. So if you're studying this New Testament, you need to study it in the Greek. So here is the Greek, old Jewish book written in Greek. It's a 4-volume set. And this last thing he left us in this book of Revelation says, right, don't add a jot or a tittle or I'll blot your name out of the book of life and you will go to hell. Let me make this very clear. Old Testament, okay? Old Testament, make sure you get your concordance. You need your concordance to study, to go with it. Make sure it's the Hendrickson volume set. The concordance is this book right here. And this allows you to one-word study. I can't read this because my eyes are too bad, but I can use my glass, you know, whatever. But you need this book to study. This is the Strong's Concordance. When I showed you this book right here and showed you that each one of these it's coded with the Strong's Concordance by the number. Where'd that Greek book go there? Okay. See how these all have numbers above them? There's a number above this right here. That number is coded with the coded with the Strong's Concordance by the number. So you can study one word at a time by the number. Those books, that book is this book right here. This is the Old Testament and the New Testament. All those one word by the number or alphabetized through the English alphabet, A through, right, in the concordance right here, or by the number. So you can open it up and there's all your sentences. This pulls out every word, who said it and where it's said, so you can start studying the one word at a time. Like you might study the word, you know, salvation. You're not going to find that in the Old Testament, right? It's said 5 times, 10 times in the New Testament. Here's who said it, where, it's all in this book. That sentence, who said it and where. So you can study one word and start understanding the word. First, you need to take and study that word salvation, which would be sozo, the Greek word sozo, S-O-Z-O, and that means to be carried, picked up, lifted from beginning point into healed at the ending point. Like he tells us, we must endure to the end to be saved. So nobody's getting saved. You can't be saved. So you want to make sure that when you're studying this, you study the definition of the word first, the definition of one word. Stop trying to read it like a book. Go study Jim Brown. You'll find something he said that's how I get my lessons from him. I'll study lessons, something I didn't quite understand. Then I start studying that one word that I didn't quite get. Go back and study it. then with this one word and who said it. This is a cheat code coded by the numbers, which means it's all in this book. Don't cheat yourself, okay? Go back. If it's written 5 times, go back to where it's written in the original book. So you don't need to go into this. Use this as your cheat code. That first you got the definition. Now you know where it's at. I don't know where everything's at. I'm not Jim Brown. He does. Then you go back and find out where it's at. Oh, here it is in Matthew. It said right here. Christ is talking about right here. Here it is in Matthew, right? Now read 2 or 3 passages before that sentence. First you found the word salvation. Now you're reading the sentence 2 or 3 passages before. There's that sentence that's in this book, and read 2 or 3 passages after it. If it's said 5 times, here it is in the book of Luke, right? Oh, here's okay. Now it's Paul saying it or something. There's read 2 or 3 passages before. There's that sentence again with that word salvation. 2 or 3 passages. Now you're getting a different idea of the context of how it's being said. This is going to give you an understanding of the meaning, because remember, the things we say today, these books are full of idioms. Idioms. An idiom is like a parable, okay? Very similar to a parable. An idiot and an idiom are 2 different things. An idiot is somebody who doesn't know. An idiot is the same word as idiotos or ignoramus. Idiotos means they don't know. They've never heard it or seen it in their life. You can't get mad at somebody for being an idiot. You call somebody an idiot and they'll be mad at you because they don't know the definition of the word idiot. So you need to start studying the one word at a time. He said, I am the hados, which means I am the way, to be in the same narrow way. That's a Greek word, to the way, the narrow way. He said, I am the way. The narrow way is the way that leads to the straight gate. He said, I am the aletheia, which is the word truth. And he said, I am the horizo. He said, I'm the separator. I divide the light from the dark. The light from the dark. I'm the separator. He didn't say I'm the light. He didn't say I'm the life. He said, I am the horizo. Go back and study your text. That's what they called the light. Every, first part of the day, the sun would come up at the horizo, the horizon. That's what he said. I'm the separator. Do not think I came to bring peace. I came to bring a sword of division. I am the horizo. I separate that. That's in the book of Romans. Paul's writings in Romans 8:29. I also did foreknow who I did predestine to conform to the image of Christ, the Hamashiach. Those that he already divided. In flesh, he divided them, imprisoned them. He is pure. He is spotless. He can't sin. He is without blemish. He is pure light. He has no darkness. He's the only thing that has ever existed without darkness. In case you had forgotten, you go back to the book of Genesis. This was all created from the dark. The light was created from the dark. You got it. That's why it's important that this New Testament is an old Jewish book written in Greek. And if you want to study this, the definitions of this old Jewish book, you need to find them in the Old Testament. And if they're not aligned with the old hados in the same narrow way, throw them out. So that's why this book is different than any other book. This is the only book that was canonized where they pulled out every word and defined it in the 12th century. This is called the Council of Nicaea, where Constantine in Rome had 300 men, 150 Catholics, 150 Christians. They pulled out with their lexicons, dictionaries in the 12th century and defined all the words. This is where they rejected 22 of the texts because, again, they were not aligned with the scripture, gospel, and they were not aligned with the aletheia definition, so they pulled them out. Too many variances. So I don't talk about them. I don't care about them. I don't study them anymore. They don't have any value to me anymore. I only want the gospel. That's it. The only way to the Father is through the narrow way, through the Hamashiach, through the Messiah, Yahushua HaMashiach, if you want to use the translation. But he told us don't do that. Don't translate. Don't add a jot. Don't add a tittle. I'll blot your name out of that book. Don't take away. Don't add. If you add to this book, you will receive of all the written plagues that are in this book. This is the last thing he said to us. And if you take away even the smallest of the punctuation, be a jot or a tittle, I will blot your name out of that book of life and you're going to hell. So Old Testament, Father, Aleph, I am, the Ram. Father, David declared him the Lamb that makes Father the Ram. One sin, venial or mortal, was death. Add one jot death, one tittle death. One yod, death. One thought, death. Nothing's changed. People think, Father, the Word became flesh. People have forgotten who the Hamashiach is because they don't know who he is. They know this other, Paul wrote about another Jesus. If you want to use another translated term that was never written in the text, even the Hamashiach, Christ, a term never written in the original text, or not in this book. Doesn't say Christ, doesn't say Lord, doesn't say Jesus, doesn't say Lucifer, doesn't say devil, doesn't say rapture, doesn't say planet. What the hell is a planet? Why do you guys come up with planets? Who's spinning on a planet? Where do you come up with the word? Where does it say in Scripture, even in your rejected text, which I have right here, where does it say planet? Where do you get the idea you're spinning on a planet, ball Earth? Or Earth is the rule, not below your feet. Heaven's not above your head. Hell's not below your feet. Hell's the word abyss. Revelation 9:11, they have a king over them. Remember the king of the abyss? He said, I come quickly. Revelation 3:11, let no one take your crown, right? Crown, you have to have a crown to sit at the feet of Shiloh. If you want to receive your inheritance at the wedding feast of the lambs, it's all about an inheritance. Remember, at the wedding, the heirs, he was the testor of that will. You never filled out a will? You know, a new, under this, you know, this living will, the last will and testament of Christ. Don't add or take away from my book, or I'll blot your name out of that wedding. So people are idiots. They don't understand the Old Testament, the formality of how this is working now. And it's because religions, all of them have watered them down. Bring your best religious biblical scholar in here. I'll crush them with the gospel. Not I. Father does it. I don't have to worry about it. Prepare either way. Remember, rocks fall on us and hide us from the face of the Lord. Lord's a pagan term, never written in the text. It means master, and he says you can't serve two. So he warns about those two thieves, right? No. Well, he said he'd send those two witnesses. I wonder what those two are, huh? Oh, it's Elijah. See this right eye here that'll steal your crown, and this left eye, he said the eye is the lamp of the body. It's supposed to be single, remember? If the eye is filled with darkness, the vessel, the lamp, the whole vessel is filled with darkness. If the eye is filled with light, the whole vessel is filled with light. They don't mix. Dark and light, oil and water. So just the word. It's the gospel, brother, sister. So that's why I hyper focus here on this ministry of the gospel. So you might have to go back and glean from this ministry. If not, then go over to Brother Jim Brown's. You can do just fine. You don't need this ministry. I already told you that. As a matter of fact, I'm putting that out there. If you're watching this video and something happens to me come Tuesday, just go over to Jim Brown's, please. Come over here and glean, but go back over to Jim Brown's. Go back to grace and truth. Go back to the root there. Go back to the base. That's house. That's home. That's where his, you know, the elect. As far as I'm concerned, nobody else is understands predestination. Nobody else is teaching predestination. So I don't know, really, the Southern Baptists used to understand predestination, but they got the baptisms not by water. You know, they perverted all this. So Father already chose the understanding. The beautiful thing about what Brother Jim Brown teaches, about what I teach, what I mirror through his lessons and his teachings, is that, you know, there is no other way to the Hamashiach other than suffering. And that's through the Hamashiach, through Christ, the one they hung for the salvation of the sins of the world of his bride. Not just Jews, but Jews and Gentiles, man and woman, black, white, brown, red, and yellow. But not everybody. He only loves his bride. And it's a tiny fraction. It's just a little tiny bride. It says oligos, O-L-I-G-O-S, O-L-I-G-O-S. So you need to study the Greek if you want to start understanding Christ, the Hamashiach, understanding his apostles, what that is and what they did. Then you need to go back and study it in the original text it was written in. Old Testament Hebrew. Remember, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy was the law. It wasn't a religion. And he wrote the letter to the 7 churches in that book of Revelation. So remember, I as Pastor Revelation, because I didn't ask for that name. It's what this ministry is. It's what I do. I continue to share the light, pull off this dark cover, pull off the veil, pull off the scales. I don't do it. The word does it, but Father makes me do it. So anyways, Guys, I got to go. Like I said, I've got a court date coming up here and a trial, and I've spent a serious amount of time here, and I need to pack it in for the night. And but you can go back, go see Brother Jim Brown at Grace and Truth Ministries, and he'll help you start to understand all these jots and yods, so you don't froward. You know, that's a Hebrew word to pervert. Froward is pervert, so don't pervert anything. He said don't add. A yod is a letter, a Hebrew letter. So tittle, these are the smallest of the punctuation in the Hebrew text. So don't add or take away. Or he said I'll blot your name out of the book of life. So go see Jim Brown. He'll help you to unlearn and relearn. That's what you need to do. I don't care what you think you know. You probably learned things that were incorrect, like I did for decades. And so it's better to unlearn before you can go back and relearn. And then when you learn something, you learn it at the root, you can really start to understand things a whole lot better when you try to learn them one word at a time. It helped me. I couldn't stop my brain. All I wanted so much of the gospel. I wanted all of it. Now, J.J. Wentworth, that's the way I was. It's my you know, it's my gospel and I want it now. I knew it. I was lazy. You need to slow down and study one word at a time, especially when you have a brain like mine. So, um, thank you for your time, brothers, sisters. I do. I can't thank you enough for all these last, 18 months of some amazing, um, you know, um, amazing memories that will never go away. I'll take with these me eternally. I'll see some of you on the other side. I don't know how many of you, but I know Father chose some people here at this ministry to be with him. So that's what I'm preparing for that supper, the wedding supper. So the Feast of the Lambs. I know these are things that most people don't talk about, religious people, but this is what matters to me. Um, and if it matters to you, then come back. Like I said, glean when the channels. If I'm gone, it doesn't mean that this ministry is going to go down. I'm going to try to keep it up. So if Father allow it, I'll try to keep it up. I've already tried to make some arrangements, no plans about Father might reckon. So love you, brothers, sisters. If you want to support the ministry, leave comments on the ministry after I'm gone. That'll be a way to continue to go back and leave comments and um, communicate with each other, keep the ministry alive by coming back and talking to each other. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, I don't make this ministry. I'm one of 23,000. I'm not the ministry. I'm one of the whole. Remember, I'm not the ministry. The ministry is all of you guys that frequent this ministry. That's the ministry. It's the comment section. I opened it up. I bring it up. Obviously, I'm never short for words, but that's not what the channel's about. The channel's about fellowship. So please don't let that go down. If something happens to me, keep coming back in here. If Kevin will bring it up, and I'm pretty certain he will, keep fellowshipping with each other, brothers, sisters. Keep learning. Keep going over there to Jim Brown and keep this channel up. Maybe I'll get out early or something, on an appeal or something. And be awesome if everybody's still in here, chatting away. Kevin, like, yeah, they're still on there once. So I go up there once a week and they come in there. And so I'm going to try to see if Kevin will pull that off for us, okay? Because I'm not the ministry. The word is the ministry. The word is what you should be sharing it here too. So you guys need to pick up the torch here. That's a Roman thing. I shouldn't have said that, but so to speak, as a figure of speech, an idiom, and carry it. Let them carry this, let them carry it. Somebody's come in here and, kind of, take control of some of the gospel in here and do the same thing. You all have wrenches for a reason, right? So you'll have to kind of take control of the channel at that point. You know what I'm saying? So, and maybe that won't happen. And then I'll go on the road here soon and we'll figure it out, take a vacation. Actually, I'm not going to make any plans. I'm just going to let Father do whatever he's going to do in the next day or two. Okay. It'll all work out however Father wants it. That's such a settling thing for me to know. Nothing's going to happen to me that Father didn't want to happen to me. So this ministry is probably one of the best things that has ever happened to me in my entire life. You know what I'm saying? It truly is. This ministry is added to something I never had. Well, I have my son, and I'm not certain if he's going to be there or even if I'm going to be there, but I just didn't have anybody else to be with, to be there when I die. And there are people on this ministry that will be on the other side. I'm judging with righteous judgment as much as I can. I see people in here come back in here because they love these truths. So if you love the truth as much as I do, frequent here and then switch a lot of your time and go see Jim Brown at Grace and Truth Ministries. You'll learn more than you ever did in Greek and Hebrew than you could ever learn from me. Obviously, I love the gospel, and he has his own way of sharing, the gospel. But he teaches predestination, just like I share in here. That was the former channel name, Predestined for Light. So, HD Fat's where it's at right now, right? For now, the fat was where it was at, brothers and sisters, the meat. So Malachi says, eat of the meat. Hope you can come back and glean. I'm going to get out of here. Links are in the description if you want to support. I'm going on the road potentially. There are links to Cash App, PayPal, and Bitcoin. I don't expect anybody to pay my way. So don't give to this ministry. I'll probably just end up putting it on my books. And I don't want you to pay for me in jail either. So I couldn't see anybody paying for my books in jail. I have some money. I'll put money on my books. So I'll pay for my way in jail. Nobody's going to put money on my books. I don't want anybody to put money on my books. So I'll take care of the money. I have that to put away, even for probably a year or so. I can probably cover my food in there. I've got that covered. So don't worry about that. So, but if I go on the road, I might be able to use some gas money or something down the road or something like that. So hopefully we'll come back that and you guys can help me along the way. Like I said, I'll still try to I don't want anybody to pay for anything, nothing at all, but it's there. The links are in the description if you have the abundance. So, like I said, nobody ever came and paid for any help for my attorney bills or Elijah's or anybody. So that's okay. I don't want anybody to start doing it now at the last second. It wouldn't even feel genuine. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like this thing that's going on with the attorney. So Sabrina, sister Sabrina, I love so much how much you've added to this ministry. I love your soul. You're an amazing soul. And I feel like we've made an attachment here, and it's like one of those people will be able to be with each other on the other side. Yeah, get out of the system, guys. Try to, be your own system, become your own supply chain. Preparedness is a lifestyle. He said, have your lamps trim and be girded in my service, right? And be burning bright. Be burning bright until I return. So don't burn up all your oil, brothers, sisters. Don't burn up your oil, okay? Purify yourself as he purified himself. He said that, right? That's what we got to do. Turn from this world. There's nothing here for you. It's phileo. I'm not saying you don't do the world, but it's just phileo. Think about the agape. Put your treasure in a higher place, for when after, you leave this place. Yes. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. We'll be each other. If we don't get each other, we'll get to be. That's the best thing that's ever happened to me. To go from just having one possible soul that I've ever attached with, no wife, ex-wife, girlfriend, dad. I don't even know if I'm going to see my dad. My mom, no, you know what I'm saying? I don't have family like that. You know what I'm saying? To know that there'll be others that'll like, I remember you from YouTube. Like, YouTube? What the fuck is YouTube? No, I'm just kidding. All right. I had to curse one more time before we get off here. All right. I'm not some perfect saint, guys. I make mistakes. Hope you can go back through when you glean through this channel. Please forgive me for my cursing and stuff. Not forgive me, just discern it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a perfect man. I'm not. So I never came in here wanting to say that I was perfect or any way. Please always take everything I've ever said and run it through your spiritual filter calculator and discern all things that I said. He said the last thing he said before the sign of his second coming was, be sure no man, and under this covenant's man and woman, deceive you. So discern everything I say, all things, every time, and put his light, use his words as your compass, if he wills, right? Not you will. So much love, brothers, sisters. I'll try to come in here tomorrow. Like I said, I don't want to sit around all day tomorrow, but I got to get some stuff done tomorrow. So, yeah, no, you guys are a blessing to me. You guys I hope you truly understand what I just conveyed to you, that to go from having maybe nobody, possibly my son, to know that there'll be other people. It'd have been kind of lonely up there, brothers, sisters. If you think about that, I don't know if that makes any sense to you. You guys all have friends and family to keep up with, and I don't have that. I just didn't get that in this life. So when I got there, it was just going to be my son. And that'd be cool, you know, because I get to be with the Hamashiach. I don't care. I don't care if he even got to be with my son. If he didn't show up, I just want to be with Shiloh. I told my son, you're on your own, dude. When he was young, I don't, you know, the same thing. But there'll be some others now, and it won't be so lonely up there. Remember, he said, I go to where my father's house to prepare a place and then come back to receive you. It's a house of many rooms. It must be a mansion. If it were not so, I would tell you, correct? So there you go, brothers, sisters. Prepare ye the way. He's been preparing for over 2,600 years, and he's not done preparing yet. So preparedness should be a lifestyle, correct? Don't you ever let anybody tell you you can't be preparing. Do you hear what I said? 2,600 years he is still preparing that house. And the body's a temple, so the kingdom of heaven is within. You know, it's not somewhere he left. He didn't go somewhere in the sky. It's inside you, brothers, sisters. That place he is preparing is inside of you. And he will come back and receive you after this, when the dead are raised at the last trump. Pastor Revelation, Pastor Apocalypse. Whoa.